Welcome to ChuggieBets NFL Week 15 Best Bets and Predictions. I got Andy over on the side, Al next to me, Danny below me, Sunshine in the corner, and like we do every time, before we do anything, we chug a beer. Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers.
Who's ready to chug some beers and make some bad gambling picks? Welcome to ChuggieBets.
Hell yeah.
Heck of a week, boys. Heck of a week. So, the boys had an interesting week. We didn't do great except for Al. Let's put that on the front. If we look at the records, Al absolutely crushed it. 6-3. I went 3-3. Danny was just slightly below 500. Andy was a little worse than that. But we're going to get after it this week with guaranteed winners. Unfortunately, none of the Chuggy Bets boys won a Chuggy Bet. So, Al gets to give away a Chuggy Bet. Great. No one else gets to give away shit. Let's talk about what happened in the NFL this weekend. So we saw some heroic performances. We also saw a lot of QB injuries. But one QB who got injured and kept coming back was Mike White. Anyone want to talk about Mike White's day on Sunday?
I'll take it. Because I was live betting that game, and it seemed like every time I placed a bet on the Jets to come back and win a quarter, or to go over on a quarter, or whatever the stupid bet was, Mike White would leave the game and Joe Flacco would come in and fumble the shit away. It was like fucking clockwork. Mike White, pretty good. The Jets without Mike White, that offense is bad.
Yeah, I don't know how old Mike White is. Is he also Western Kentucky?
He's Western Kentucky. He was, I think, graduated in like 2018-ish, but he was old when he graduated.
He was the precursor to the Zappy?
He's pre-Zappy.
Pre-Zappy. All right.
Zappy was only there like 1 year.
I'd like to quote a friend of mine who on Mike White said, "Mike White is a legend in the making, and I love him, and I will protect this man at all costs."
Well, he's doing a pretty shitty job.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to talk about
protecting got his ribs busted up 3 separate times, so you might want to do a better job protecting him.
Tough as fucking nails, though, man. He played with those broken ass ribs that were probably puncturing one of his lungs.
Let's go through his day. So he left the game in the second quarter after getting hit in the ribs and came back in 2 plays later, right? Then got hit in the ribs again in the third quarter and had to get X-rays. So, right, we had an injury in the second. Returned to the start of the fourth quarter and finished the game. Once the game was over, he left in an ambulance and was sent to the hospital for testing on potential internal bleeding. This is no longer a rib injury or like a bone injury. He could have busted an organ.
This is absolutely a conversation that took place like while he was in the locker room getting X-rays. They say, "Oh, your ribs are definitely broken. There's the potential that you punctured some internal organs, but the likelihood that you bleed out in the next hour and a half, low. Here's your helmet." That was a doctor. A doctor had that verbatim conversation with Mike White. Like, what fucking sport is this? This whips ass.
Well, they didn't know at the time that Danny's betting account is basically a voodoo doll for Mike White. And every time he played the bet, he was just poking him in the ribs. If they'd known that, then they would have kept his helmet.
If I had known that, I wouldn't have placed the bets.
Danny, you're a Dolphins fan. If that's true, you need to place all the bets.
Yeah.
Well, but in this specific game, wouldn't it? They were playing the Bills.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
That's a fair point.
You know, I love this time of year when it's all just, what do you want to call it? Like playoff scenario, hot potato, where you're like, I need this team to win, but if they lose, it's also good. And if this team loses and doesn't win, but also ties, then great. And you're like, I don't even know what the fuck I just said. It's great.
I know what you said.
You want Rebels to win, and yeah.
I tracked
You're
every
like,
word.
If my team loses, I think they back in. But if they win, they're out. And you're like, what?
It's getting close to the part of the year where I spend my entire lunch break on the playoff machine.
Yeah, hell yeah.
You guys know what I'm talking about? I forget what
Yep.
You put in like all the different scenarios and like try and see how
If we
likely it is
win
for your
this
team.
game by this many points and they lose this game by this many points, do we get it?
And then you get pissed you
All
can't
my
figure
lunch
it out,
breaks.
so you switch over to 538, do it there because they give you percentages, and you're like, oh, there's still a percent. Yeah. Or maybe that's just me because I'm a Lions fan, but 21% right now, basically in
Yeah,
the
buddy.
playoffs.
Tripled your percentage by winning that game, right?
It was a big
Oh,
win.
yeah.
It was a big win. And I think it would be easier to like calculate landing the Artemis spacecraft that just came back than figuring out who makes the playoffs in all the iterations. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Talking about quarterbacks that didn't get hurt, we had Tua versus Herbert, right? Number 5 and number 6 in the 2020 draft. That didn't go great for most of the people, 60% of the people on this. I don't know if anyone who is an outsider has an opinion before we talk from a biased opinion.
Yeah, that's me, right? Or Chris?
Yeah, either one of you.
Okay. My opinion is just real quick. There's so many times when you could take like a snapshot of a season and say it's really dumb that these two went 5 and 6, and like I don't know which way you mean it. And then you could also take a snapshot and be like, why weren't these guys 1 and 2? You know? So I don't know. It's fun to watch these guys play, even when one of them is poorly.
So Tua didn't have a good statistical game, but he made some good throws there. That so there were some drops early on. I mean, the very first throw of the game was a fucking dime to a guy who was being held and pass interfered with that ended up going off, getting knocked down. But it was a perfect throw. I'm speaking from a biased perspective here, obviously, but the referees allowed them to hold on every single play. They were holding on every play. Otherwise, those shitty fucking corners and safeties could not stay with Waddle and Hill. They just wouldn't have been able to.
Did Tyreek get injured in the second half?
Yeah,
he was dealing with like a sore shin or something. But yeah, still faster than everybody on the field. But yeah, so the fact that they were allowed to. I think it may have happened on the touchdown when he kicked the guy to make him fall down to stop him from holding.
Reactivated.
It was just we're a rhythm passing game, and when the other team's allowed to play that way, and we were allowed to play that way too. It's just our corners are also injured, and we didn't. We're a blitzing team that plays off the ball, so we didn't take advantage of it the way they did.
Mike McDaniel's offensive genius calling that intentional fumble return for a touchdown, like
it was beautiful.
It's a great play.
He's playing a 4D chess.
So I know nobody likes the guy who like screams at the ref after every play, like to throw a flag for your team. Nobody likes that guy, but Danny and I are both that guy, and everybody else here has to deal with it on our text thread because we were texting after every play. The
right tackle
officiating was bad. It was bad. It was really
the right
bad.
tackle jumped off sides for their offense.
Every play on an entire drive. Yeah,
every play for a whole drive he was jumping off sides.
And the crazy thing is Herbert got sacked like 5 times. Phillips had a freaking ball game, and he got a sack taken away from him by the most ludicrous roughing the passer I've ever seen.
Nobody that was watching that game looked at that and said he literally put his arms out to stop from landing on top of him. He did what the rule is designed to make him do, which is
Herbert's mom.
That was a Donkey Kong smash. That was a Donkey Kong smash. He was going to kill that guy if it weren't for the ref's flag.
Even Chris Collinsworth, who's a good soldier to Goodell, was like, "That's a terrible call." He is one to back him up.
My side note is I fucking hate that. I hate that every single announcer, every single person paid to talk about football fucking is 100% backing the refs 100% of the time. Nobody's out here saying that was a shit call anymore. It doesn't happen. I fucking hate it. I hate it so much.
Collinsworth was all over that one, saying it was a shit call. Collinsworth was all over that one. The other thing he was all over is that the fucking moment that it was impossible for the Dolphins to cover the -3. They called a holding on the Chiefs corners, and he was like, "They've been doing that all game. I'm surprised they finally called it." It was like the moment that we didn't have enough time to cover, and like the only way we could go down and win the game was to go up by 1. They started calling the holding, and we could finally start moving the ball on offense, but it was too late at that point.
Yeah.
Andy, thoughts?
Well, I mean, I know like Twitter and everybody that talks about this for a living is all over Herbert today. You know how he's the better quarterback. You can't judge it off of one game, right? Like, and it's been 2 bad games in a row for Tua, to be fair, but and you can't base it off one season either, right? Like, if you take whole body of work, it's probably Herbert. If you're going to take this season, it's probably still Tua, even with the 2 bad games. But Herbert definitely looked better last night. I think the jury's still out.
San Francisco game was bad. I think this game you can literally throw out based on the way the referees allowed their defense to play on our receivers. It was ridiculous.
I think with like college football, everything kind of operates on a plane, and you see the team trajectory, and there might be like a game or 2 that kind of blips either way, but you know where they're ending up for the most part. In the NFL, I think it's much more of a roller coaster, and it's like, we won this week, we're going to the Super Bowl. We lost this week, why don't we have the number 1 pick yet? And it's like so up and down because there's so like each week it shifts so dramatically.
It
2
shifts
weeks ago,
dramatically
the
in
Jags
college
thought
too.
they were out of the playoffs, and now they're like talking about winning the division. It's just I guess
that in
my
college
point is
too. It's just you go like this, and then you lose once, and it's poof, we're out.
Yeah.
The NFL, but that's what makes the NFL hard to bet, right? Because it's like so
because you think you're really down on a team after a loss, you're really high on a team after a win, and it just pans out. Every team, you should be looking at your team as like, we should end up close to 500. Like, where does that mean our next 4 games are going? You know what I mean? Like, the NFL does their best to keep these games, to keep the records close, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know how crazy you want to go conspiracy theory wise on that topic. I think they'll want most teams to be within 2 games of 100.
I will say that during Brian Flores' run, at the end of the year, it did feel like the refs were on our side a lot after we had that 1-7 start, and then we won like 7 games in a row to get to 500. Felt like the refs were on our side a lot.
Which, as a point of emphasis this week, is something you might want to keep an eye on. Teams that are below 500 and trending up, you might want to bet those ones. Teams that are above 500 and trending down, might want to maybe double second guess yourself on those.
But that's what makes Danny a smart gambler, betting live, right? There is an art to betting live where you're like, okay, clearly this game is going a poor direction. Like, let's double down here. It makes a very smart play. So yeah, that was Dolphins Insider. Now let's go to I know there's been a lot of news in the media as far as, and it was on Thursday, so it got lost, but Baker Mayfield's back. Baker Mayfield, the defunct,
in a big way.
The defunct Browns, Panthers, now Rams quarterback is back. Chris,
Bigly.
I'm gonna call it super spicy.
Oh, okay.
No, I mean, like, how awesome was that? Like, that was awesome. Thursday nights, the comeback. It was amazing. Everything about it. Like, I mean, I'm not some Baker Mayfield fan, but that made me a Baker Mayfield fan.
My favorite part was being on the Rams money line.
That does
my
make
favorite part.
Like, I mean, like, I personally, I thought that this was a franchise that had all but given up. And like we had talked about it the week prior, like, oh yeah, they're bringing in Baker Mayfield because who else? Right. And I mean, the boy came out to shine. And, all I can remember leading up to it is like they kept showing replays of him like headbutting people's helmets, at Carolina games, and just being like, this guy's a fucking nut job. And then like, not only did he do that in the game that he led this comeback with a team that he'd never played with before 48 hours, but Also, like when they talked about it at the end of the game, when they were talking to him, he was like, I'm gonna miss those guys at Carolina. It's just like I almost wonder if anybody liked you, man. But I'll tell you what, I love you.
Yeah.
My favorite part about his interview was they were talking to him about Van Jefferson, and he was like, I was trying to convince him to come play with me at Oklahoma, and he never returned my
And
text.
he ghosted him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, the comeback was incredible. I think the fact that he'd only been in the building for 48 hours was probably the most impressive part. When somebody joins my work, you know what they're doing after 48 hours? They're still trying to figure out how to log into the computer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the fact that he did this.
What's the Wi-Fi password?
Exactly. Guys, I went to the bathroom and I got locked out. Can somebody come buzz me in? Right?
Like
that's
in 2 days, I don't even know if he gets a swipe pass yet to the building. Like someone has to like bring him in.
Unbelievable.
It's literally like the Browns commercial where he's trying to get into the stadium from the outside, and the security won't let him.
Yeah, literally. Yeah. Like last podcast, I mentioned that I could score half of my shots on goal against a World Cup goalie, and I firmly believe that. I do not think I could learn an NFL playbook in 2 days and do anything other than fuck it up royally. So like you listen to these NFL plays, which by the way, NFL coaches should play more Madden because the plays are too fucking long. Half the damn play clock just to relay the play. It's like fucking Joker right, upside down, pineapple cake, Tuesday morning, rotate the guy, and on the switch you're gonna. And it's like, what the fuck are you saying? You're like reading a fucking novel here. Just call it.
They're mostly talking about the pre-snap motions, and then
No,
Actually,
I
that's part of
understand.
a
I understand that's what all of it is. But you're talking about how many like ball starts there are, and it's like, yeah, because you fucking said my assignment 3 pages ago. I don't remember what it was, and like it's a fucking get better at it. But to be able to like be a quarterback and hear that, know that, recite that, and know what it is and what to do, and he only fucked up like 2 plays badly, and like there's probably a lot more mistakes that happened that were like minor ones, but like
once the
he
ball
looked
snapped,
a lot better
the quarterback reads are
than
going to
Johnny
be the same.
Walford and Bryce Perkins.
Yeah, once the ball snap, the quarterback reads are going to be the same, right? When the route combinations are the route combinations, it's about getting to have.
Yeah, but you need to know that play is that route combination. Which is
the nomenclature is not going to be that hard for him to pick up. He's a smart guy. He'll be able to figure.
You're right.
Out
It's easy.
It's
easy.
No, I'm not saying it's easy. I'm saying that like once the ball snapped and he knows the routes they're going to run, that I believe that he can do that. But
there are a lot of common route combinations.
There's it's a lot of common route combinations. He's just transferring like words, right? He's just saying that these words now mean this. But the hard part is being able to like he just had all these words in his head from a different system, and now he has a whole new set of words in his head, and they're not the same. So like not getting confused on each of those plays beforehand.
Plus, there's probably words that are the same that mean different shit now.
Yeah.
I love in his post game interview, he just sounded so humble about it.
Yeah.
They kept pushing him on, like, oh, you just made it in the building tonight, and he was like, oh yeah, I don't know. And then eventually he like said it, and they're like, all right, you've been here 2 days. It was just like, it was just fantastic to watch somebody do that. Cinderella story in my eyes. I fucking love him.
I love it.
I didn't love him before it, but now I fucking love him.
Legit, he probably didn't know where he was sleeping that night.
He's sleeping well, for sure.
Hotel. He's still at the same hotel.
SoFi Stadium.
He lives in the stadium, guys.
Yeah, that's what he does. He locks it up.
I mean, that is his home now. He definitely owns SoFi, at least for this week.
SoFi.
Until Stafford's healthy. I mean,
that's true.
So here's a dumb question, and Danny, you played football competitively. Couldn't you just make like 1 through 50 a play? Couldn't you be like run number 27? And like you have to have special plays against special defenses, but instead of saying like Joker right, Joker left, couldn't you have like a base?
It's way easier to use the nomenclature because then you can use different So, for example, like formations have names, right? And then you can change the formation, but then run the same play out of a different formation. If you just say 27 is a play, but that play has to go with the formation. So, like the numbers usually like correspond to like a running play. So, like let's say you have a 24 dive. The 2 is the way the backs move in the backfield, and the 4 is the hole you're going to on the line of scrimmage. So like
also you have in a situation where you have number as the play call, like the entire offense needs to memorize all 50 plays, whereas a quarterback
Got it.
reading
The
it
other
the
thing
other way,
each
they
thing
just have to
refers
listen
to
for
what
the
you
one
do.
thing, but-
So like if say you have
But
a
it's gotta
bunch,
be
a
a better
formation that
way.
means bunch, like the receivers are in a bunch, or if you have strong right or strong left for that means the tight ends on the right or left. There's like different
Well, it's
and
like
just
the
having the formations like that makes it much easier, and then you can have like one route combination run out of like several different formations, or you can have one reading
that's
play
like
run
the
out of several different formations
the
and
Patriots.
places people are standing.
The Patriots were like the only team that ran. This is when Brady was there. I don't know if they still do it with like Mac Jones, but fuck me, I remember the name of the system, but it's like
I thought that's what they
Danville
ran.
system
Fuck
or
me, I think.
something. but essentially it's based off of concepts. So the play call is a concept, and then they'll call a formation with it. So it's concept, and then you like the receivers, so everyone just lines up in the proper formation, and then they know like the concept. So it's a lot of like option routes, which is why it's
So
it's a harder offense to learn.
The Patriots
but,
route tree was based off what the defense did. So rather than calling like a very easy route is like the slot will clear out and the guy will run a dig, or the flanker will clear out and the slot will run an out. Those are those are just very common route combinations, and you read one guy and then you throw to the other, right? Based on what one corner or safety does, that's the read, and you either throw to the deep guy or the short guy. But what the Patriots will do is, like, depending on what everybody does and where they're standing before the snap and what all the pre-snap reads are and what happens after the play starts and where people are moving, you then will change what the route is in the middle of the play. And that's why Brady and Gronk were so good together for so long, because they would
it's called Earhart Perkins, isn't it?
Earhart Perkins.
So it's like
because
West Coast
they don't know
what everyone does.
Route is until like the play's already started. Even though like it looks like Brady and Gronk, the play is just like Gronk run 10 yards and turn around and be taller and stronger than everybody else. It was much more complicated than that.
Like also that reminds me like Gronk and Brady, which we're totally getting sidetracked here, but like listening to them talk about playing together after the fact is great, because Gronk was like, "Oh, I never knew what was going on. Brady, I just asked like Tommy wanted me to do, like at the line of scrimmage." Tommy would be like, whatever their word was, like run this, run it, or like running out, and then because Brady would see the coverage, know what it was, and like he'd just tell Gronk like what the option he should run is, and he'd just go run that, and he'd just like boom, touchdown. Fucking crazy.
Welker, on the other hand, had to actually know it all and like be able to like break the slot corner off, and then get to the right spot, and Brady would have thrown it before he had done the move on the corner.
You're saying he was a sharp route runner, Danny?
Yes.
He's
a hard worker,
real guy. Real 9 to 5er.
Wait, sharp route runner is no white thing, but a hard worker is. Sharp route runner is not, because everybody knows Antonio Brown was the best route runner basically of our generation. So
I'm not saying that only white guys can be good at it, but those are the kinds of things that like
route runner is no longer has a race correlation. I don't think at all. But
I will say nobody knew the playbook better than Wes Welker. Nobody knew the playbook better.
Do you think Wes Welker remembers anything else but the playbook after all the hits he took?
No, I think that's the only thing he has left up there.
You think he's like confused about his kids' names so he can run that route?
I bet you if you yelled a play, like a full actual play that he ran in his career at him, and his brain remembered it, it would trigger a stroke and he'd die.
I was thinking he would just start running, like no matter where he is.
His brain would hit fight or flight, and it would flight.
He gets on the field as the Dolphins wide receiver coach and starts running the route confused. So no one can say they don't learn something from this podcast. That was very illuminating. Thank you, Danny. We talked about Baker Mayfield. Let's talk about Mr. Unlimited, right? So Kansas City was up by $1 billion, and then he tried to make a gutsy play, started bleeding from the mouth. I want to.
It was a gutsy play.
It was a gutsy play. He had to try to get those extra yards. If Tom Brady gets hit that hard, how many flags and personal fouls are on there? I'm going to say it is a 3-flag, a triple personal foul, 45 yards on that play. I mean, I know they were only like 8 yards from the end zone.
Yeah,
Every piece
I'm
of
gonna
yellow
say
fabric in the country
Oh, go ahead.
is on that field. Like, if you're wearing it, you're now naked because it just transported.
My daughter's
that field.
favorite yellow dress just got thrown out there.
Somehow the terrible
Done.
towels get sent
Yep.
in from
Yeah.
Pittsburgh
Yep.
and just get dumped on the field.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, Tom Brady actually has trouble standing up, not because he's injured, but because there's too much yellow fabric covering him up.
He's just draped in yellow. It's just so weighted.
So, Russ used to kind of get a little bit of that treatment when he was in Seattle, but I think once you change teams, you kind of give up a little bit of your favorable quarterback treatment. Cam never got that. Never got that. Actually, Cam would make that run, and he would get hit that hard, and then they would throw a flag on him for running too hard.
Yeah, he get a personal foul for trucking the linebacker.
Yeah, personal foul. No stiff arms by quarterbacks. What are you thinking, Cam?
Yeah, it was crazy though. I've never seen a quarterback
I watched that.
mouth like that.
Sorry,
No, me neither.
Go ahead, buddy.
I saw the replay and I was like, it didn't look like a hit. I guess it was just contact with the ground, and it really kind of reminded me of like a Dale Earnhardt crash, where it's like it didn't look that bad. Oh, he's dead. Like, oh, in this case, it was just Russ' eyes. He really should have let Mr. Unlimited run that one. So we got Mr.
He should have let Mr. Unlimited would have got the touchdown. He went up in the air, and the guy pushed him down. He went up in the air, and the guy pushed his head into the ground pretty hard. It was a pretty big hit. I can see why he got
Maybe
concussed
I didn't
there.
get a good
I mean, there was
angle
enough grass
of
in his
it. I
helmet.
only saw it after the fact.
There was enough grass in his helmet.
You could see though, like he wasn't there, and it's kind of coming back, and he was like, "Oh, I like let's keep going," but like in that like primitive brainwave mode where it's like we have like one thought, and it's like keep going.
No,
But,
he
like,
was
that's it.
definitely. I could
There's, like-
see him when he got up. He was like, "Oh, we're gonna get this touchdown," and the guys were like, "No, man, no, you're coming off the field."
No,
You could
we're
definitely
gonna get
see
this
like
touchdown.
when he finally like
I
got
don't know
up.
what happened.
No, they scored. They scored the touchdown.
No one's been a stricter like referee to concussions than me in that moment. I was taking notes. I'm like, so help me God, if he's allowed to play this next play. I'm like, all right, dear NFL, comma, what the hell?
What the fuck? Why would you not let Tua
Concussion.
play?
Please see the attached video of Teddy Bridgewater.
Yeah.
like, please see this video and tell me why Mr. Unlimited can continue to play. But yeah, he got hurt bad.
Tell me why.
That's probably what his brain was singing instead of like thinking about the next play. It was just the Backstreet Boys. Yeah, and everyone got hurt. So many quarterbacks got hurt. I know Kyler Murray got hurt tonight, and it looked like a serious one. Jimmy G last week. I don't know who's the hell's the quarterback for the Ravens right now. Like everyone's hurt.
Pittsburgh.
Yeah, Pittsburgh. Yeah, so it could be Trubisky. It could be me starting at quarterback next week. But I do have a serious question. Is Brock Purdy the truth? Because that boy looked like the truth against a good Buccaneers team. And I thought I was going to bet the farm. I was like, unfortunately, I didn't get a chance. Well, fortunately, I didn't get a chance to get my betting app beforehand. Then I saw the score was like 28-0. It was a crazy game, and not San Francisco's not to be trifled with.
So
Like,
Matt, the truth looks like 185 yards passing.
Yeah, that's the truth. That's the truth. When you have Christian McCaffrey, that's the truth.
Yeah.
I'm
How many
pretty
of
sure
that,
at some point.
How many of those throws were to Christian McCaffrey? 34 of those yards were his.
Yeah, no, I believe it.
Forward Debo
I was going to say,
Samuel.
I'm
So
pretty sure
77 of those
like
yards.
less than that.
Well,
Wait,
yeah,
call him
wait.
77 of those yards were to running backs. So
Yeah,
Hell
that's
Yeah,
the truth.
Well, they got
but
good ones.
also like Debo Samuel went out in the game, right?
I think he did get injured.
Yeah.
It was a bad
Yeah.
week for players. If you're a fantasy player, it's a dreadful week to figure out how to get in the playoffs. But
The answer is
Yeah.
to add Detroit Lions to your roster.
All of them. Jameson Williams. Keep an eyeball on
J-Mo
him,
coming,
boys.
baby. J-Mo coming.
Real quick, everybody here, can you guys imagine being in a fantasy league and not making the playoffs? Like,
Oh.
what would that feel like?
It's the
I
worst.
don't even know.
It's the
I
greatest
can't imagine. I don't know.
It's never
the
happened to
greatest
me.
shame.
I'd be so embarrassed I'd log off this podcast.
Yeah,
And-
like
See you
imagine
guys
if
later.
you imagine if you need if you needed to combine forces and couldn't do it.
Yep. It's good to talk from a position of making the playoffs here, even though I have far less points than people were making fun of. Al and I are not. We don't have good teams.
Yeah, for the less initiated, it's always important from a position of strength. Sunshine and Danny share a fantasy team in our league, and they on the playoffs by losing by 4 points.
Yeah. It's even less
Yeah.
playoff spots
Tonight
if you go
on
per manager. Per manager.
Yeah.
It's got even less.
And I think I have 100 points less than Sunshine's team. So yeah, you got to play defense. bud.
I've
You gotta
scored
play
the
defense.
fewest points in our. I love it.
Got to play defense sometimes. All right, let's get to the picks. Now we've talked all the nonsense. We got a Thursday night pick. Thursday night game. We got an NFC West showdown. San Francisco 49ers, Seattle Seahawks. Andy, start us off.
Yeah, like you said, San Francisco's a wagon right now, even with Brock Purdy. And a little bit of the shine has come off of Geno Smith in Seattle. He's not the golden boy that he was the first 6-7 weeks of the season. So I'll lay 3.5 with San Fran. I know it's on the road, but it's same time zone, just a little bit north. So I don't mind that, and I'll lay the 3.5.
I am like 8-4 betting this strategy, and I'm going to continue to bet this strategy. Take the under 43.5 on a Thursday night. Keep betting Thursday night unders. Teams are fatigued. It takes a little while to get everything going, especially a team as good as San Francisco is on defense. They're going to keep it low scoring. It's going to be an awkward game. Take the under 43.5. It is going to be my chuggy bet. It is tested as long as time. It is the play. Danny and I are in unison here. Chris, do you have something you want to? I'm sorry, Andy. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say real quick, I'm on that one as well. I've been following you on a lot of these Thursday night unders. In fact, it's the only bet I won last week was the Thursday night unders. So I'm riding with you guys on that one too. Sorry, Sunshine, go ahead.
So, I mean, sometimes it loses. I'm not going to lie about it, but it hits a lot. It hits far more often than you think. People always want a high-scoring Thursday night, and so does Al Michaels when he complains to Kirk Herbstreit every damn Thursday about how these football games are shit. But maybe the guys can't play after 3 days rest. Maybe that's it. Anyone else have anything to add on the Thursday night before we roll?
Yeah.
The only
there's
bet
nothing
I
I
make
love.
on Thursday nights is the under.
The under is the only bet. It's a great bet.
There's nothing more I love than listening to Al Michaels hate a game.
And he really does. He gets super angry about it. It's the
He
best.
is like the shortest leash. He's like, nope. He's just like out from like the kickoff. I love it.
So we're going to go to the Colts and the Vikings. I'll do Danny's pick, but I just want to add some color here. There are 5 10-win teams in the NFL. All 5 of the 10-win teams have a scoring margin over 50, except for the Vikings, who have a scoring margin of -1. So it is amazing that you can be 10-3, 10-4. Are they 10-3? I think
10-3.
Yeah, and they have given up more points than they've scored all year, which means they've blown out some teams and they've lost some.
Did someone recently join the 10-win team that has a lower point differential? Because the stat I had seen, which is on Sunday, was that there were 4 10-win teams and they all had like 130 plus point differential, except for the Vikings, who were like -1 or 0 or something.
I think that's when I saw it too. I just couldn't believe how
Yeah,
dominant
it's like
their
the
record
Bills,
was.
the Chiefs, and
The Eagles are definitely one of
The
them.
Eagles, Cowboys.
Yeah. Oh, Cowboys.
That's the 5.
And the Vikings are still
Yeah,
minus
Vikings big time frauds.
Yeah, you're putting them on record. But to Danny's
Oh,
pick
shit.
here, and go ahead, Chris. Did anyone have something to put?
Oh,
Sorry.
it's Al with his big words, calling them
Mhm.
frauds.
Big time fraud alert. But I am going
You like
to
that?
give Danny's pick and Danny's voice.
You like
Look, the Vikings are pretty good, right? The Colts have been reeling. Jeff Saturday's a fraud. I don't know if Danny would say that, but Jeff Saturday's a fraud. And Kirk Cousin at 3:30. It could be a Saturday. It could be a Sunday. It doesn't matter. Between 1 and 4, watch for Kirk Cousins at 3:30. Lay the 4 points with the Vikings. Did I do it?
Yeah,
Did I do good enough?
Yes, that was good.
All right.
Danny,
We don't have a pick on the Ravens and Browns. Who the hell knows who's the quarterback?
I do kind of want to God, this is really tough. I haven't placed the bet yet, but I'm considering it. Laying the Browns to cover.
Laying the Browns. I think it's 3.
Well,
I'm probably
Yeah, I
bet
think-
the Browns. It's not going to be a pick for me here, but I will probably bet it.
Yeah, I didn't mean laying the Browns necessarily. Just picking them to win outright. Let me see what I can get.
Oh, you're talking money line? Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
I'd
well,
lay it
I wasn't, but now I'm like, I just forgot what is the spread? Sorry.
I think it's 3.
Yeah,
I
3.
think it's at 3.
Yeah, no, Browns.
Yeah. The
Let's
thing
go.
is, this is a home game for this too. And granted, I don't know how everyone feels about Deshaun Watson there yet, but I'm assuming the people that buy tickets to go to the games are the type of people who are very pro his acquisition. He got to knock his rust off last week, even though they couldn't cover against the Bengals. But I think this provides a good opportunity to sort of get right, especially against a Ravens team that, without Lamar Jackson, is very mid. So that's my thought on that one. That's funny. To move on to the next game. This was, by the way, we're talking Saturday slate here. So Saturday football for the NFL season has arrived. But we got a matchup between the Dolphins and the Bills. If we haven't got enough Dolphin talk in yet, we'll add a little bit more on here. If Andy, you want to let us know what your thoughts are here with the Dolphins traveling to Buffalo.
Yeah, Danny and I have the same play here. As Dolphins fans, 2 bad weeks in a row, just starting to feel a little fatalistic. It seems like we're going to get destroyed here. But maybe we don't get destroyed. So instead of laying the 7.5, I'll put in a 6-point teaser and bring it down to 1.5. Basically, just saying that Buffalo is gonna win the game. Honestly, I hope they don't. I'd rather lose this bet than win it. But
the good way.
I think that's
But
what
the
the
good
value
way.
is. Yeah.
Yeah. You don't want to lose it with Buffalo blowout. You want to lose it with Buffalo 1 point would be how you would not lose. But yeah, Dolphins we're talking about. Which I think is possible. Honestly, like I think you guys are a little dejected on the Dolphins here. I think they're still a really good team. I think the Bills still are, for as talented a roster as they have, they're still prone to make mistakes. So depends on how the ball bounces. I could see the Dolphins winning this one in Buffalo. Kind of depends on what the weather ends up being and what Bills team shows up. But you and Danny both have this one teased. You've got one or multiple other teams you want to tease it with, or because it looks like Danny wants to tease this one with the Packers.
Yeah, Danny has a couple of different teaser legs in here. I think he's gonna tease a couple of them.
Oh,
But yeah,
right.
that's the one I'm teasing it with is Green Bay, which is also at 7.5. So the 6-point teaser takes it down to 1.5 in both of those.
Yeah, I love that. I think it's actually down to 7, so you can get that at Packers -1 there. So I think and I like the Rams in that game too, which is funny. I mean, granted, we're talking Monday night here, so we're getting ahead of ourselves. But yeah, that's one of the Andy spotlight plays where you take the points on one end and you tease the other end and you hope to middle it. I think we might in that neighborhood on that game. Move on from Dolphins Bills, unless Matt, do you have anything you want to add to that
Yeah, I
one?
have a quick note. So Mike Florio from
PF Pro Football Focus? No, Pro Football
yeah,
Talk.
Pro Football Focus is expecting 4 to 7 inches of snow, which is a huge amount of snow. 4 inches is the giant size of snow. It's a big amount. All right. But I would look at the under potentially in this game for 4 inches, which
Took
is
me a
just
minute,
such a
sorry.
large amount of snow.
Let me ask you this. How
Okay,
good
I'm scared.
how good is the Dolphins offensive line at creating a large hole just once?
What, in 4 inches? No, their running game has not been very good, even though McDaniel's supposed to be good running, a good like run game coordinator, and the line has been overperforming. If you look at Pro Football Focus, most of the linemen are like top 20, which is great. Like that's really good when you consider replacements and everything.
But
else.
it's heavy on the pass blocking, or
It's really been, but they look good because Tua gets rid of the ball in under 2 seconds.
because
It's easy.
here's where snow games are decided. They're decided on breakout plays. Almost every snow game I've watched, there are less than a handful, usually 2 or 3 plays where someone just breaks loose. It's a lot of like 3 and outs and punts, and then you get a play where there's a big hole and there's no safety, or like the safety bites on the run and you're able to pass over top of them to a tight end who's like got 20 yards clear field ahead of them, or the safety is biting on a route and then the running back just has open field ahead of him, sort of like an Army Navy type game, which I think probably bodes well to under if that's what you were suggesting. But I think it also has the potential to keep the game tighter than expected. So if the Dolphins are able to capitalize on a play or two like that, this could be a fun one. I also love snow games. I'll watch any snow game. Doesn't matter who the teams are.
Yeah, that's what scares me about Josh Allen, right? Because he's a horse that can run in the snow. Like he's going to be the differentiator, and it's not going to be with his arm. It's going to be with his legs. He's going to be able to extend drives because he's so strong and so fast. It's a scary one, but I still do like the under here.
I also love that the NFL looked at this and said, it's not going to be cold enough in Buffalo in December at 1 p.m. Let's move it to 8 p.m. Right? Like, thanks a lot.
This total's at 42, by the way. This is, if I'm right with comparing this to like an Army Navy game, this is a clear opportunity on the under. So, let me go ahead and fucking add that in here. Under 42. Why not? Let's get crazy. Give it to me.
I think it seems like
with the caveat being that we're getting at least 4 inches, at least a large,
huge,
thick,
4 inches. Girthy 4 inches of snow.
We're not talking, nothing 3 inches or less. That's but a solid 4 plus. I mean, 4 is basically 7, right?
Everyone's satisfied with 4 inches of snow.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to Atlanta, New Orleans. I'm going to let Andy go first here, and then we can all fire back.
Yeah, sorry, Sunshine, but the Falcons just aren't good. They had a little run at the beginning of the season. I feel like I've said this every week since like week 6. Is they had their little run at the end of the season. Everybody fell in love with them. They were fun to watch. Nobody in the world dislikes Marcus Mariota. He seems like the most likable guy. It was a fun story, but it's over. They're not good.
Marcus, who?
What?
All right. I think
Marcus who?
I think where you're like making a mistake here is that you think the Saints are good.
No,
Yeah.
just less bad.
No. But we don't have Marcus Mariota for this game.
Yeah,
I forgot
about
that.
Somehow,
doesn't matter.
Closing the chapter on the Marcus Mariota era.
They're only favored by 4, and that's why I'm taking the Falcons. Like, what do they know that I don't? Probably a lot, but I'll tell you this. I'm taking my chances.
No, I like this even
Andy.
better. I forgot they're starting a rookie. That's even better.
Andy,
New
Ritter,
Orleans minus
Ritter
all
me
the
this.
points. I don't care.
Ritter me this. Who's better suited to start a game for the Falcons against the Saints than one Desmond Ritter, Cincinnati playboy, and top what
Marcus
300
Mariota.
draft pick?
That's who's better suited to start.
Touche. No, I'm gonna take the Falcons in the points here. I don't know if they'll win, but I'm interested to see what Ritter has to do. I also think the Saints are trash. I think they've also like given up on the season, so they're just autopilot driving this thing home.
I agree. That's really the big thing here. I think Ritter's rookie quarterback coming out, I'm sure it's going to be a tough day for Desmond Ritter, but I'm also sure he's not going to have to do that much. They're going to manage the game. This may be also an underplay. I don't know what the number is at, but I'm sure they're going to make the game very easy and manageable. I don't know if Atlanta will win, but I like the +4. At +3, I'm much more hesitant to bet this game.
43. 43 is the total, Sam.
So, can you guys tell me who Desmond Ritter's going to be throwing to?
Absolutely.
Bird.
Guy,
Drake
there's
London.
the guy that plays receiver. They also got a
running
back.
receiver.
And
They got 3 of them actually. 3 receivers.
hey, I heard that guy.
There's I think they have a tight end.
Is Kyle Pitts back?
No,
Kyle might be back.
No, they should have done for the season. Pitts is done.
Is Cordell
Pitts is
Patterson
done for
still
the
there?
He's still there, but I think he's hurt too.
Yeah. Well,
there's
whatever.
they got a guy.
Okay.
they got a gang of guys. They've been assembling guys all
to
year.
your point though, Andy, besides Drake London, who is a rookie, I cannot name a person who's going to be catching up.
Damari
Desmond
Bird.
Ritter.
Right? Is
Zacchaeus.
that
Did
a thing?
Make that up?
Is Damari Bird
Is
a
that a animal
thing,
or a person?
Chris?
No, it's Zacchaeus.
Wait, is that the one that like
Jesus
wakes people
Christ,
up in the
you guys aren't
morning?
listening.
I'm going to make the same
What?
joke.
Kookaburra?
Damari Bird.
Kookaburra bird.
Kookaburra.
So Damari
Kookaburra
Bird
Johnson.
is
That's playing wide receiver for.
a wide receiver for the Atlanta Falcons. Let's get his stats from Bang. I don't know why this 10 receptions this year.
Do
240
they still have Andre Rison?
They do. I don't want to crap on the Falcons.
I mean, go ahead.
No.
What
Let's
worse
crap
could
on
happen?
two really bad teams. We got the Steelers going into Carolina this week.
Ooh, all right.
Well,
I do have a play on this one.
all right, Sonny,
I had a
start us
play on the
off.
last one too, but I got to play.
Get it,
Hit us
buddy.
with it.
Oh shit, dude! Did you guys fucking watch the way Carolina played ball? Man, hey, let me tell you something. The NFC South is shit, and Carolina has realized it, and they're here to play.
They're wallowing in that shit, aren't they?
They're just like a sewer rat.
Like they found this guy, I don't know, Sam Darnold, and he was like, "Hey, guys, let's go out there, play some football," you know?
You did
And
say
like
that.
the rest of the team was like, "Yeah, sure, yeah, we can do that."
If there
How
was a
many
quarterback
yards
who looked like
passing?
his name was, if there was a quarterback who looked like his name was Gloob, it would be Sam Darnold.
Listen to the college podcast. You'll get there a lot
That's a
better.
deep cut. That's a deep cut.
How many yards per attempt do you think Sam Darnold threw for?
Oh my god!
3.6.
Yeah,
No, it was better than that. It was 5, right on the number. 24 attempts for 120 yards. Not great. Deontay Foreman's been good for them. Chuba Hubbard's been good, so they're going to run the shit out of the ball. But I just can't see Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's going to have some more chutzpah than this. They're fine defensively. This game, I don't want to watch at all.
no way.
I'm taking the points with Pittsburgh. Al, what do you got?
Yeah, I'm also taking the points with Pittsburgh here, and I'll tell you why. The Cardinals kicked my dick off tonight with this Kyler Murray injury. 3 plays into the game. Karma owes me a quarterback solution the yin to the yang here. Okay, so I don't know if that means Mitch Trubisky gets the start, and we actually see that what is it, left field Mitch, who he actually on the left side of the field he throws well, on the right side of the field he cannot hit the broadside of a barn. Or if we get Kenny Pickett and he suddenly realized how to throw accurately. But something's happening here. Steelers are going to win this one. So I would take the money in, but I'm going to just take 2.5 here in the pod. But that is not to say that the Panthers have not shown some real fucking spunk here. They are a team to reckon with. And I don't know, what is it, Steve Wilkes that's coaching them up?
I think so.
Yeah.
I really believe that like they were
Mad
looking at it
respect to
and they
the
were like,
Carolina Panthers.
I think the Panthers were looking at it and be like, guys, we could make the playoffs.
They believe it.
They're one game out of the division. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's unbelievable.
Oh
What
my
a
god!
absolute-
Well, I
Do you
mean, who would have thought Tom Brady would have played like this?
Isn't Steve
Yeah.
Wilkes the guy that used to be a bouncer on the Jerry Springer show?
Yeah, that's him. That's him. What is that guy's name? Something, is it Wilkos?
It is. It
Steve
might be the
Wilkos?
same. They might
No,
have the
Yeah,
same
it
name.
is.
I'm
That's the
confident I've
best.
got the name of the coach right, but I think it's also the name of the bouncer.
So yes, you're
Steve
both right.
Wilco. Still Steve Wilco. That's the name of the bouncer.
it's a little different, but it's close.
Yeah.
Almost.
What a throwback. What a throwback.
Oh.
And it looks like Danny is taking both Pittsburgh with Buffalo and Green Bay and the teaser combination. So he is going to take Pittsburgh up to 8.5 here. So that's a pretty strong bet. I actually love that one. I don't think this is going to be a blowout by any means. I have
Pittsburgh
lost.
plus 8.5. Oh yeah. Damn.
I have.
Danny's on some good bets here.
Yeah, he is. I have lost the last 3 times I bet against the Eagles, right? I like to bet pluses usually in the NFL. I'm going to stay the hell away from this game, but the Eagles are going into Chicago. Al, what do you got on this?
I'm doing it. You know what? I love me a dirty, disgusting, gross bet that you just nobody wants to back, but nobody's got the fucking balls to lay it on the line here. Well, here are my balls, and here's my bet. Chicago plus 9, baby. Bears at home. Justin Fields, hopefully he's active and good to go for this one. I could see this being one that is close for the first half. Then the Eagles sort of run away with it in the second half before we get a backdoor by the Bears to keep this one in line. So that's my picture there. So if you're live betting, maybe want to anticipate that. Bears keep it close in the first half and then backdoor at the end.
Sonny, what do you got?
I think that for the Eagles, there's some doubters out there, and that they have, like during their conferences and press conferences and whatnot, you'll see that they publicly acknowledge this. I think they come out there and they're looking to beat down anybody they can. They want people to believe that they will win. And I know it's at Soldier Field, and that's going to be tough, but no, it's not that tough. For this 3-8 or 3 and whatever Bears team, I think they can cover the 9. Or let me see what I got it at. I said 9. That's really high. Oh, yep, 9. Yep, and that's what we're sticking with.
Yeah.
It's going to be right around freezing. It's going to be a little windy. So I don't know. Might not be.
Hey, when they win 10-0, everything's all right.
I normally don't like to. I normally like to take the points with the home underdog when they're this big, but I'm staying the hell away. I once bit, twice shy, third time burned on that shit.
I get it.
Kansas City Chiefs at Houston Texans. It's 14 points. We got nothing on that. That's a tough game to call. I'm going to take this. Yeah. What do you got? You want to talk about?
I was going to say, I feel like the Chiefs have not been covering double-digit spreads, and the Texans have been feisty. So I would consider the Texans here, but I'm not locking it in. That's all.
Yeah. I'm going to take us to Jacksonville. I'm going to lay the points with Dallas going into Jacksonville. It's going to be 5 of them. The reason being is everyone saw Dallas kind of suck against Houston. To Al's previous point, Houston can be a spunky bunch. They can also be hard to kill. And everyone saw Jacksonville just go out and stomp Tennessee on the road. I think those numbers are going to come back to equalize a little bit. I don't think either team is a true representation of what they've been on the season. I think Dallas is far better. I also don't think Jacksonville has much of a home field advantage. I think it's going to be a very blue and silver crowd. And Dallas is better. Dallas is a lot better. And I think they're going to take advantage of this game going into the Philadelphia game next week. Lay the 5 with Dallas.
The Jags actually. I just want to rub this in because I know we got at least some Jags people that I'm buddies with that might be listening. Jags had not won in Tennessee since 2014 before they laid that whooping on them this past weekend. So, dreams can come true. But I do think the Jags have been very up and down this year where for every great performance together, they seem to follow it up with a clear, and this seems like another spot that's ripe for that opportunity. So, despite the line being way suspiciously short here, I think you're on the right side, Matt.
I do too. Thank you. Let's go to the Lions and Jets in MetLife. So it looks like we're a little bit split here. I will let Al and Andy start. Al,
you want me to go? Okay.
Yeah, it's your turn.
Yeah. So I have the benefit here of this being a homer pick, laying the 1 point with the Lions here, because if I lose my bet, I don't care. I'm betting on my team. I want my team to win. Granted, what I just said means that I would lose my bet and my team would lose.
Yeah, you should do the other way.
-1. But Detroit's won 5 of 6. They started 1-6. They're now 6-7. Their only loss is to Buffalo by a field goal on Thanksgiving when they easily could have won that game. They just got conservative, and the play calling led to the results there. Hopefully they use to learn their lesson, and they rip off, I think, 2 or 3 straight, 3 straight since then. And they've got a real shot at the playoffs here. This is a team with a 20% playoff percentage odds to make the playoffs here. They need the Commanders, Giants, or Seahawks. Out of those 3 teams, they need 2 of them to lose 2 of the remaining 4 games. And at least one of those teams has a tough schedule, and the Commanders and Giants play each other still. So there's a real opportunity for the team to be playing hard and wanting to win this game. The Jets, I'm not sure where the FC playoff picture lines up. I think they're around 500, so they're certainly going to be in it. But I'm not gonna bet against my team when they've won 5 out of 6, and Mike White's got 18 broken ribs. So give me the Lions. We'll see if they can keep the magic going.
Andy?
Yeah, the Jets are bad. They don't have a quarterback. The closest thing to a quarterback has his bones crushed into powder. So I'm betting against the Jets.
Poco Loco.
Chris, you want to go?
Wow. I don't know. I feel like I owe it to Joey.
Give him a little bit of sunlight here. Give him a little sunshine. Give him one ray of hope. What's the one X factor that's going to lead to a Jets victory?
White will play at quarterback.
He will.
The man's the legend in making.
He is.
And he will win.
He will.
He is.
And he's protect him at all costs.
And
he's nearly impossible to root against.
If that's what protecting him at all costs looks like, I don't want to see what happens when they give up on him.
Yeah, Joey, you do not got my back ever, bro. Please.
So it comes to a game of a good offense versus a good defense. I'm always going to take a good defense at home, especially in the conditions when Detroit usually plays in a dome. Their offense is predicated on a dome and being more climate controlled. Jared Goff is also a West Coast boy. I'm not saying he can't play in the North, but it's going to probably be a blustery day in New Jersey. Give me the Jets. I will take the point. I will probably bet a money line. It seems like the logical play here. Not necessarily rooting for it. I would gladly take a Jets loss here for my sake. But like when you look at all the factors, I will take the defense in the cold weather over the team that plays in climate control.
Yeah.
Let's go to Arizona, Denver, which I don't know what the hell is going to happen in this line. I know, Al, you locked it in early. I don't know who's playing quarterback for either team. But go ahead.
Yeah, this one sort of feels like a steal, right? So I got Broncos plus 2.5, and then Kyler Murray went out and probably tore his ACL, and the Cardinals got beat by the Patriots on Monday night, and the line has not come out yet. So I'm likely expecting this one to shift to a Broncos slight favorite. As long as the Broncos -2 or better, I would probably still be fine with this. I really just think that the Broncos have a great defense. They're at home against a Cardinals team that's not very good on either side of the ball. And you're going to be replacing Russell Wilson with Brett Rippon, who, granted, I don't know how familiar he is with Nathaniel Hackett's system, but has been in Denver long enough to be comfortable stepping into the role and has performed well in the past. And if Hackett doesn't just keep shooting himself in the foot with his awful play calling, which the Broncos did go out and put 28 up last week, so maybe there's some sign of life there. Maybe somebody put fear of God into Nathaniel Hackett to maybe like want to keep his job. So I don't know. You put all those things together, and I think the Broncos are the smarter side to be on.
Sure.
So I was going to be on the Cardinals here prior to the Monday night game where we saw Kyler go down. And obviously, that's a terrible injury. Feel for the kid. Hopefully he comes back better than ever. But for my gambling purposes, him getting hurt might be the best thing that happened to me this season because I keep betting on Arizona because they can't be this bad. But without Kyler, maybe I'll finally stop betting on them and stop losing so much money.
That's good.
Yeah.
Baptism by fire, I think that's what it's called.
Exactly.
Let's go to New England, Las Vegas. Andy, you and I are on separate sides. You lead the way.
Yeah, this is a numbers play for me. My numbers like Las Vegas +1. I'm not a Mac Jones believer. I'm just not. That's really what it comes down to. Belichick's a fraud without Brady. I don't really believe that, but yeah, I'll take Vegas plus the 1 point.
Yeah, so the Patriots have been playing really good defense all year long. It's been sneaky good because the offense has been lambasted by, right? It's like a running joke. I don't think Las Vegas's offense. Yeah, I get they got Adams. They got a lot of tools out there. Derek Carr can be good, and they have the fantasy leading rusher in Josh Jacobs. I don't think any of that's going to be that big of a factor against Belichick. I think he'll be able to control this game against a team that's probably packing it up for the season. Give me the Patriots -1.5, who have something to play for.
You two are disgusting. I think outside of a Las Vegas sports book, you two might be the only people betting on this game. Like, I don't like anything about it. I don't like anything about it.
I don't know. It jumped off the screen when I was looking at it. Let's go to this is a puzzler. This is a line I wanted to bet. I can't figure it out. Tennessee at the Chargers -3. Danny is going to take the Chargers -3, probably because they have the better quarterback. They're going to Los Angeles off of a bad loss. I'm guessing that's the reason. You guys have anything else to add here for Danny?
It seems like a trap.
Danny likes to do that thing where if he bets against a team and he loses, then he comes back and bets on them later. And I'm pretty sure he was on the Dolphins this past week against the Chargers, and the Chargers lost that bet for him or made him lose that bet. So I don't know if that's what he's thinking, but I know he has used that logic in the past. So could be that.
Okay. Let's
If you can't
roll
beat him,
on.
join him. Sort of.
Yeah, I get that. I get that. We got Cincinnati at Tampa Bay, and oh boy, what a ball game it's going to be. Let's start off with Al, and then Sunshine can defend.
Yeah. So I saw this line and I said, you know what? Who wants to bet on the Bucks right now? Nobody, right? Like they're about as down and out as they're going to be, and I still lose some games.
Yeah, we both do, buddy. We lost that losing season bet.
And this hook looks real juicy. You think +3? Okay, I'd probably still bet. Bucks +3.5 feels like, oh, I might need to get frisky and maybe bet a little money line action here, because it just feels like Tampa at home in a must-win situation against a Bengals team that I still don't think is as good as their record is. Like, Burrow's good, and it's just I don't know. I guess credit to Burrow for dragging that team to a better record than they should be capable of. But I'll take the Bucks +3.5.
Sonny.
I think that I mean, as much as I love that story that Al is spinning over there,
The yarn.
I think that Joe Burrow is a great quarterback. I think he's young and he's agile. And I think that Jamar Chase is a fantastic receiver. And I mean, he's just got too many weapons over there. If everybody plays and they're healthy, which probably won't be the case, but let's just say they were, with Boyd, Higgins, Chase, and Hurst, I'm even throwing that tight end in there. That's just their passing game, like Mixon and P. Ryan has just shown up. I just think that they're looking to make a statement saying, hey, America, we're a fantastic football team, and we're definitely better than Al thinks we are. Yeah, and that's what it is.
I heard them say that.
Me and Joe
I
Burrow
agree.
with the blood feud.
I don't understand this slander, Al, of the offense in Cincinnati. Joe Burrow dragging along this offense. They have 4 or 5 weapons who would all be the best weapon on, say, the Falcons.
I mean, in my defense, I wasn't saying he's dragging the offense along. I'm saying he's dragging the whole team.
Fair enough.
So that includes the defense and special teams. But yeah, down and I might have to just get on the Bengals bandwagon eventually, but I really am impressed.
Nah, fuck that. You and I are going to stay on this bandwagon until it drives us straight.
Yeah, eventually. Not this year, but maybe eventually. But you guys remember, I'm old enough to remember people calling Joe Burrow a fraud and that he should not be a top draft pick and that he's going to be a terrible QB in the NFL and, burn out quick and all that. And it's like, man, he sure as shit has shown he's tough, accurate, and consistent and can plug it away. So, I mean, I guess it helps having the best quarterback or the best receiver in the league, or second best, I guess.
Did you say you're old enough to remember? That was like 3 years ago that he got drafted.
Yes, I know. That's the thing the kids say. I'm old enough to remember.
Wait, I mean, seriously, I look at Joe Burrow at some of these press conferences, and I'm like, did you go to the Cam Newton School of Swagger?
Yeah, dude.
Did you go to CNSS?
I mean, Andy, if you want a old enough to remember deep cut, shit, I'm probably old enough to remember hitting Joe Burrow's mom in college, probably. Shit.
There we go.
How old do you think his mom is? How old is Burrow's mom? You get going to the next game. I'll let you know if I find.
You think Zach Wilson? She's old enough for Zach Wilson to hit on her?
Probably not.
Too young, right?
Yeah,
a little too young.
We got a big game. I don't mean that hyperbolic.
Oh, damn. Joe Burrow's mom could kind of get get it. T4, which is like she's not like hot, but like
I think we got it when you said
Let's
she didn't get it.
check a quick Bing search here.
All right, so Giants Commanders, big game in the NFC East. This actually has a lot of playoff implications, this game. Al and I are on the same side here. Al, you want to go first? Or would you like – okay. Let me see this link of how old is Joe Burrow's mom. Al,
like
you
I
want to
did
us
it
off Giants Commanders
today. Yes, Giants plus 4.5. Joe Burrow's mom would probably love to see that happen.
Yeah, no, I don't know if I agree with the Joe Burrow part, but yes, the Giants are the right play here. The Commanders have been playing very well. Their defense is very good. But this seems like one of those games that's going to be stinky, field goal late to win the game. I don't know who will actually win, but I think the score will stay close. So take the Giants plus 4.5. It seems like an easy bet. Let's go to Monday night. And we're not teasing it for TikTok. You guys get it right here. Let's go. Rams at Packers. I will start. Man, there's a lot going on here. Let's go with Andy first. You got a teaser, right?
Yeah, this is the other half of my teaser leg. I gave out a teaser earlier, which I forget what it was. Now Buffalo down to 1.5. I'm going to do the same thing here. Green Bay, tease it down to 1.5.
All right, Al, what you got?
Yeah, I'm going to take the Rams plus 7. I would not take this inside of 7. 7's as low as I want to go on the points here. If you can get it better than that, go for it. I also think it's a great spot to tease the Packers down to 1.5, like Andy's doing and like Danny is doing. Danny is so Andy's teasing the Packers with the Bills. Danny's also teasing the Packers with the Bills, but he's also teasing them with the Steelers, and I really like that combination. I'm not a big 3-team teaser guy, but I would probably do 3 separate bets there. Packers, Bills, Packers, Steelers, and Bills, Steelers. That seems like a smart play there. But I'm on Rams plus 7. See what Baker Mayfield can do in Lambeau.
Okay, and Sunshine, you want to add any context to your note in here?
I just been drinking, and what I meant was I'm taking Rams plus 7.
All right, Rams plus 7, and it says spicy in here for everyone at home.
Yeah, I think he wanted to make sure he hit on Baker Mayfield. We hit on that earlier, so
yeah,
fair enough.
That was it.
Let's do the chuggy bets because we are over an hour and 10 minutes here. And I gave you my chuggy bet Thursday night under 43.5. Al, what is your chuggy bet?
Oh, which one am I gonna roll with here? Let's go Broncos plus 2.5. Is that a cheat?
No, you locked it in early.
Okay. Yeah, we'll roll with that. Broncos plus 2.5.
Chris,
what were our chuggy bets last week? I feel like we didn't.
I can pull them up in a second. No one won according to the spreadsheet, so.
I didn't declare one, but I think I would have won. I'm just saying. I think that. Oh no, my chuggy bet this week is definitely Cincinnati 3.5. Or minus 3.5.
Don't I have chuggy? Sunshine. Go ahead, chug a beer for that. If I do, yeah, because
it's right here.
Yeah, chug it. I'll chug the rest of mine with you too.
Andy, what's your chuggy?
I kind of want to do the Saints -4 just to troll you guys.
You can.
I'm going to do my teaser, actually. The Buffalo down to 1.5 and Green Bay down. Excuse me, down to 1.5. That's going to be my chuggy bet.
Okay. All right, everyone. Thank you for joining us on this episode of Chuggy Bets Week 14.
Just for notes, that was also Danny's Chuggy Bet Bills Packers teaser.
Okay, great. Thanks for joining us for week 15 of the ChuggieBets season. We appreciate y'all. Make sure you like, subscribe, ring the bell, do all that stuff. Tell your friends. We're really working hard to provide you very quality content. And for everyone here, good night. Good night, Joey.
Yeah.
Man,
Thanks
Joey.
to all our
Joey.
listeners.